out with like sticks and fire and killing animals and eating raw flesh and then learning how to cook and then the wheel and then all of this, you know, development of the mind. And the mind, we talked about this on Wednesday night, becomes this ability now that it's producing technology, or at least it's a apparatus that can tune into like mathematics, logic. So does logic already exist? Does the mathematical fields already exist? And what we're really doing is we're just having the instrumentation now to get it on our channel. So these fields of energy and information and engineering and technology seem to be non-local. And our biological organism develops the capacity to pick up that energy transmission. Now, who's to say that's going to stop at reason? So there are perhaps, and many have talked about this, Sri Aurobindo, one of the great luminaries of this integral unfoldment of consciousness, is that we have other ways of perception that are now coming into fruition. And as a result of that, we're going to be able to interact with fields of energy and information that precede, in some cases, the space-time situation. And what we could even get privy to, and this is part of the Monroe test at the highest level, is that there are cosmic engineers. In other words, this whole space-time energy flow could be a design. In fact, James Gates, a physicist, and many of you know this, when he was looking at the codes of string theory, what he discovered, and it blew his mind, was that embedded within the mathematical codes of string theory is a binary system that represents or resembles identically our search engines. And so at the core of these mathematical models that are describing subatomic and even more microcosmic levels of universe, there seems to be a computer code running at the subatomic level. So this is being discovered, and that means perhaps we are actually, this is Gates' conclusion, echoing David Bohm and Karl Pribram and others, that we could be in this holographic, computerized...
Don't say that.
I never said it was going to be easy, I only offer you the truth. But it could be one giant simulated holographic video game.
Yeah, that's what we are.
All right, so there's the skinny lamp.
Okay, so my question is for Penney. In Leap of Perception, you talk about how, you know, getting out of the physical and more often into the non-physical, and then you end up creating this individual that is sort of both, you know, the immersion. Can you just expand on that concept a little bit?
I'm not exactly sure what I wrote about that.
She knows her books better than you do.
So the more often you get out of the physical world and into the non-physical.
Well, what I think is really happening with the new perception is that we're stopping the separation between the physical and non-physical. And maybe we have to oscillate back and forth a little bit to see how interconnected they are. You know, the particle wave, you know, the particle goes through the wave to the field through the wave to the particle, but it's, you know, like the nano, you know, gap. Until you can really get the feeling that right now, I'm in the non-physical.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm occupying all the frequencies. I'm functioning simultaneously at all the frequencies actually right now. You know, there's, like, if you want to think there's many of me doing it, but we're all the same. This is the hologram, too, you know? And it is mind-boggling because it's non-linear, and it blows your mind. That I could be all the dimensions of myself now. I could also be all of the dimensions of everybody else right now doing all of that. And when I go into that direct knowing, like right brain facilitated state, I know it all, of course. I don't have to try to break it out and discriminate it and have logic around it and understand it. It's in me as a direct knowing. And I am it all at once. And relaxing into that, right? And so, on our daily life, maybe what it is that you remind yourself, hey, I'm non-physical right now too. And that non-physical is my soul. And it's my belonging in the collective consciousness, which is fueling me. And I don't have to worry about anything, because the next thing's just going to come, because I belong in this, you know? And you relax. And then your physical gets informed by that wisdom of the belonging. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. I think you called that the immersion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
I apologize, I came late to the party, but so for the past hour, I guess what I'm asking is, and I might have missed this, how does this all serve us?
How does it serve us?
Yes.
Can I ask you what you mean by serve?
Do you mean transformation in general?
Yeah, I guess in our daily life, going about our business and, living our life, knowing, okay, there's beings and they're there, and I'm going, okay, so that does...
Well, the beings and all that is just a teeny part of what we've been talking about, but I think the idea of transformation, how that serves us, is it relieves us of suffering. And it allows us to have memory of, and then the actual accessing of, and the doing of how spirit really works, how the souls actually function. And bringing that reality into the physical reality, because the two realities are merging now. So the physical is starting to behave like the spiritual and follow those same principles and rules. And so everything gets so easy. That's, I think, how it serves us.
Yeah.
It allows us to return to joy.
To Penny, a couple of days ago, trying to know more about yourself, I listened on YouTube on your interview with Little Mace.
Oh, yeah.
And it was amazing. And then at a certain time, she asked you a question about community. I am a community man. I've been in communities, into communities for 50 years of my life. So I was kind of interested, but you did not answer in the interview about community. Could you now?
He's asking about community, but I'm not sure exactly what aspect. Do you have a sense of...
Well, the self-sustaining community of like-minded people under a spiritual teaching that is also like incorporating education,